Try to get somebody, at least it's helped me, try to get someone who's more experienced, but can also not only get a coach who can actually be effectively teaching you. Don't try not to get a coach who's going to baby you and point out what you're doing good because you already know what you're doing good. Like, you're aware that you're hitting combos. If your combos, you're pressuring your issue, don't focus on that. You don't want somebody to say, hey, you did this really good, and this and that, and this and that. And that's all they focus on. And your mistakes are just kind of like brushed off. Now, you got to get somebody who's going to call what you do good, but they mainly need to focus on your mistakes. God, the mistakes are what's caused you to lose, not what you're doing good. You already know what you're doing good. I don't need to be told I'm doing good. Tell where I'm fucking up. Like, you are way too nice for my mistakes. You're not calling out when I'm missing some punishes. You see that I'm telling, like, you see that I'm not ducking any higher than the strings that are duckable. You're not calling that out. Like, you know, stuff like that, you're being too nice. I missed so many punishes. You didn't call that out. You're not talking about how linear I'm playing, how easy he's sidestepping me, and stuff like that. Like, whereas someone like, I guess, Five or hell, even Leap, they'll say stuff like, your meter usage is Barth-worthy, or you need to stop trying to space with a character that has a shit backdash because Mirror's backdash suck, and if you try to do spacing with everybody, you can't do that because their backdash suck, shit like that. And when you got someone who's trying to teach you stuff, please actually work on that shit. Don't get told where you're fucking up and then don't work on it and then come back making the same mistake. That's something I learned in Fatal Fury from Nash. If you get taught something, do not return playing the same way. You need to show that you at least made some improvements, because what that shows your teacher is that you actually learned, you actually try to improve, you actually make an improvement. Don't be getting told stop doing spacing traps with a character with a shit backdash and then come back and continue to do the same thing. Don't be told your meter usage is terrible, you're just popping heat and immediately doing heat gauge and burning your heat bar, and then go back the second day and then do the same thing. You need to show that you're making improvements, because it's beneficial to you and it shows that you're not wasting your teacher's time. Use your replays, people. You see these right here? It's actually surprising me how many people don't use this shit. If I'm finding something that I do not understand how to beat or what I'm dealing with, my ass is, after the set is over, I'm going straight to the replays. I'm watching my replays and I'm going straight to replay takeover. And I'm going to lab the instances that I keep losing to some bullshit so that next time I fight it, I know how to deal with it. And like, people actually go to replays. I was like, y'all don't? Like, y'all don't do it? And I'm sitting here like, that's crazy. Do y'all know how much the Fatal Fury people are begging for replay takeover? And like, I feel like a lot of Tekken people actually don't use this shit. Not only do they not watch the replay, but they don't use the takeover feature to lab where they're fucking up. And I'm like, this is so strong. This is one of the reasons I got good so fast. Most of the time, even in God Destruction, man, I'm telling you guys, people that play these characters, they're just flowcharting a lot of the time. They're just flowcharting. They might move fancy or wave dash, but in the day, they're flowcharting. When you show that you can punish a lot of their bullshit, a lot of people break. They just crack under pressure and they die. If you can get somebody who's stronger or superior to you or better than you and just happen to train with constantly, yeah, use it. Use them. If you fight somebody who's better than you or combine somebody who's higher ranked than you, this is what I did. This was like the moment I got into the game, day one. And week 2 and so on. I literally got into the game with the beginner. I was just started off fighting the red rank, king player. Then I started fighting blue ranks, Fusions. And then I went on ranked, and I actually ended up getting a 26 win streak. And people called me a Smurf all the way up to blue rank because of how I started off labbing, fighting people who were better than me, more superior than me, had more knowledge just off the rip. Bailey started off being a Fusion rank. I was a beginner rank. Got my ass whooped. Fucking 10 streaked me. Towards the end of that set, this is week 2, when this set happened, I started winning more, and eventually I was actually able to overcome him towards the last set. Even though he won most of the sets, I started winning more at the end and actually able to start winning streaking. Come back a month later, and now he can't beat me. I don't even a shot. Like, I run sets with him all the time. We'll go to replay, study where I'm losing, lab the matchups, improve my own gameplay, and come back, and I was able to beat him. I got that experience early. He was a Blu-ray. All right, everybody, what is going on? This is your boy Trey, aka CanTreGame, and only CanTreGame. As you can see, I'm going off the YouTube name. Follow me on social media or Twitch, where you been. Your boy is officially back to be in CanTreGame. The only difference is on Twitch, we got to be CanTreGame 470 because my actual OG name is CanTreGame myself. It's not in the name pool. I have to wait like 6 months for that to come back. So we're rocking CanTreGame 470. But nonetheless, we are back. Miss B Bottom 3 is officially dead. Reason being, y'all should know this by now. I haven't been too fond of Fatal Fury lately. I feel like my time has come to leave the city, at least for this season. You know, Jenny sucks. Jenny will always suck. It's Patchy's ass. And I tried, but I've lost interest. And right when I started getting sick of Fatal Fury because of the knockdown changes and the character just being nerfed to absolute shit, Tekken decided to step their shit up and get a good patch. So came by season 3, like what I saw, put in a lot more effort into the game, and yeah, my main focus is Tekken now. I've been grinding Tekken non-stop, more than usual. And my goal now is shifted to becoming as sweaty as I possibly can get at this game, man. This is probably going to be one of the hardest goals to accomplish, man. Every game I play, I'm trying to put up some type of accomplishment for myself, competition-wise. MK1, I wanted to get a top 8, got that done. Fatal Fury, wanted to get a top 8 in that game, got that done. In Tekken, I did get a top 8, however, it was for an academy tournament, so kind of like a beginner tournament. So, while technically I did get a top 8, I want to strive for bigger. Basically, what's going to happen is I need to enter like some of the bigger tournaments. And a lot of times I'm not able to travel, unfortunately. I even go to a lot of my locals here. And I live in a state where Tekken is kind of like the lifeblood of this thing. There's a lot of heavy hitters where I live. Atlanta is where I'm at. So there's a lot of, and I've heard from a lot of people since joining the community that Atlanta is kind of like the HUD for Tekken. It's like the blood and life of Tekken, basically, here in Atlanta. So I'm in a great spot to get the competition I need, and especially get out to some of these locals and have a lot of experience out here. When I travel, definitely do that, but right now I'm stuck to the realm of onlines, and since my schedule has been pretty tough, I'm only able to enter a few onlines. The only one I entered that was seriously like packed was like my first real tournament with Breakout. Didn't go too well, as I thought. I went 1 and 2. I didn't go 0 and 2 simply because my opponent just DQ'd, and I would never forgive him for that because I wanted to fight him. But nonetheless, that's the goal. We're trying to get top 8. Trying to stick it out with Miari, just the character I'm playing with. Trying to get her as good as I possibly can. So that's been a work in progress. It's been coming along in these this last month I've been playing the game. We're approaching 2 months playing Tekken, and I feel like I've already made some pretty good headway. Nonetheless, that's the long reason as to why my name has changed. Basically, I'm not in the city no more. I'm not in Southtown, man. I could be going back to Southtown when the patch is favorable, but even then, it's just Tekken has all my time now. Just the game I want to get good at. This is the new thing for me. So what's this video about, basically? I want to talk about, I guess, rank and my experiences with rank, and probably offer some tips on how I was able to improve so quick. Because I hear it a lot. Everybody tells me that I got good at this game really fast. Really fast. Like, faster than normal. In a month, I had hit Tekken King, and I was actually able to scrap with some goddess trucks and even beat a couple goddess trucks here and there. Now, your boy is a Tekken King now. I mean, not Tekken King, I'm sorry. Your boy is the Tekken God Supreme now, so we've really been on the grind. It didn't really take me too much time at all, though I will say that Tekken God Supreme was definitely the hardest push I had to take so far. And this is kind of one thing that led me to making this video, but I feel like it's something important. And while I don't think I'm quite experienced enough or qualified enough to give people beginner guides or tips or advice on how to improve your game, I'm just gonna tell you guys how I went about it. And like I said, I didn't struggle at all, really. I mean, minor road bumps here and there, but nothing too major until I started getting Tekken God. Once I hit Tekken God, that's when I noticed a major skill gap as far as me just getting knowledge checked. Because the thing about Tekken, man, this game was a very knowledge-heavy game. It's extremely knowledge-heavy. So you can understand that, like, playing for about only 2 months now, how like characters with over 100+ moves and matchups I don't know, characters I don't really fight, on top of people being able to pilot them better than I'm used to, on top of having some pretty decent movement, can lead to a very rough time. Now, there were some characters, some players I could tell were just flowcharting like crazy, but their character allowed them to have a basic flowchart that was very strong and stuff I didn't know how to deal with. And characters like Xiaoyu and stuff that had panic moves and moves that go under a lot of my attacks that high crush me to death. Stuff like that definitely contributed to making it hard because, knowledge check. So I'm basically going to explain to you guys how I was able to overcome a lot of those things and what it may take to get to at least Tekken God Supreme. Because, I'm one rank away from God Destruction, and I am going to get there. Right now, I'm just taking a pause from rank because I'm trying to lab harder than ever, continue labbing. I guess we can go into before I even get into all that, I guess we could go and start by going into the rank inflation thing. I'll be honest with you guys, the rank inflation stuff is definitely true, but it's not a bad thing. Let's start right there. I remember week 2 coming to this game, telling people I picked up the game, that I started playing Miare, that I already hit blue rank at week 1 of the game when I started playing rank, and this was in Footwork's chat. I watch him a lot. Someone in this chat was telling me that they just couldn't stand the fact that somebody as new as me could get that far in rank, and I was like, oh, first introduction to community is like that, okay. Well, yeah. I didn't feel bad. I mean, I wasn't mad that he said it because, to be honest, this is something I've experienced myself, and playing Tekken I can kind of understand where players like that, or I guess veterans or Tekken heads or old school Tekken players come from. Tekken 8 is definitely easier, or the easiest Tekken game I ever picked up. I started with 7, didn't take it serious. It's the one I'm taking serious. And yes, they're right. This game is 100% easier. Just fighting some of my friends are teaching some of the people that I'm fighting, because I have taken a couple people under my wing as fresh to the game as I am. And I can definitely tell there's some elements like the offense being strong, the constant mix blender, the pluses stuff in the mix that, because the offense is so strong, it definitely caters to a lot of beginner people. And rank, they boosted the points so much to where you can kind of just, yeah, I'll be honest, you can get to God of Destruction with a 33% win rate. Will it be easy? No, but you can definitely do it. I've fought worse players than me who have been in God of Destruction and been able to beat, so I know it's the case, right? But that doesn't mean that you should be ashamed of your rank and to talk down to somebody else. Just make it easy for you to rank up, and that's completely okay. But I do want to say that yes, rank inflation is definitely real. And even the seasonal charts show it now. When I started playing season 2, the highest anybody was getting was Fujin. Blue ranks was where most people sat, and nobody could really crack gold. Now the highest rank this season 3, because they boosted the points again, has shot up to being Tekken King, Tekken Emperor. That's around the new average where people are starting to get now. So basically, if you were a blue rank last season, you're now a Tekken King now. If you were a Tekken King or a Tekken God last season, you're probably a God of Destruction, or at least a God of Destruction 3 is where I'm seeing most of them get to, at most. That's around the ballpark for the people who used to be getting to be Tekken gods and stuff. Revenge points help, so if you lose in a match but beat somebody, you gain more points. Win streaks give you massive points, you start gaining more points when you lose. However, there is a point where the ranked drop off, that boost in points does kind of peter off. I've noticed it, and I think it's around Tekken God is when they stop feeding you points like that. And that's when you actually have to really lock in and start doing really good. And that's when I think personally and I guess this shouldn't speak for everybody on average, because my skill ceiling and when I cap out is different from somebody else's. I could say that Tekken God is when I notice the difficulty really shoot up, and someone who's struggling to get Tekken King might think otherwise, so this is my experience. Tekken God is when it really started to get difficult. I've noticed the movement getting better, the wave dashing picking up, the defense getting solider, people starting to take more throws than usual. That's when I noticed the spike got difficult, and I wasn't getting as many points as I was when I was going to Tekken King or Tekken Emperor, to say the least. And I think even, like I said, the averages show it. Most people are sitting at Tekken King, and then next is Tekken Emperor. And after that, it's Tekken Emperor to Tekken God, the bar drops pretty significantly. So a lot of people are not actually able to touch Tekken God. But if you have hit a cap, I guess, if you are someone who's stuck in the averages of Tekken King, the Tekken Emperor, now I'm going to offer you a little bit of advice on how I was able to overcome it. And I find it so funny because this is some of the clashes I've had with actual Tekken players who've been in the community for a long time, longer than me, and how I go about training and improving. And when I bring up how I train, a lot of people look at me crazy, like, you do that? Like, that's something you do? You can't, or they tell me it's not effective in this game. This guy named 5-4, specifically. Me and him would butt heads a lot. Not a lot of the time. It's not really hostile, but I could tell that our conversations tend to get a little bit heated, not in a bad way. It just picks up in steam because he feels very passionate about what he says, and I feel very passionate about what I say, and we're trying to see each other's point of view. And he's very on the nose about when he thinks something isn't correct or when something's correct, which I respect because even when it came to Fatal Fury or this game, I try to teach people, just help people get better. I am a pretty firm teacher myself, so I didn't take too much offense with how he talks. In fact, I kind of prefer that just getting coached, which I'll get into that later in the video, that my coach isn't babying me or just trying to act like my mistakes aren't a big deal, because to me they are a big deal. And I don't want you to just shout out what I'm doing good or how you think my approach to the game is okay, even though you don't think it's optimal, because you're basically just babying me and I'm not ever going to improve. But I learn better from the type of person who's going to call shit out as it is, as firmly as possible. Because at the end of the day, the only way I'm going to get better is if you call out my mistakes and keep hammering those mistakes till it is driven home. I'm not going to get good by you just complimenting what you think I'm doing okay and saying I'm not doing that bad. Because in tournament, the breakout, I got fucking 0-2'd by Swaby. And the first round, the first match was just I got dominated. It was 0-3. The second game, I was actually able to make adjustments myself, and I was actually getting to like final round with him. And it was the game I could have won, but I messed up, a couple errors, I guessed wrong, hit the wall, and I died. And the guy who's trying to help me, he was saying that he couldn't really call me bad. We saw I was doing really good, and I was like, I told him, like, you're too nice. Like, you are way too nice for my mistakes. You're not calling out when I'm missing some punishes. You see that I'm not ducking any higher than the strings that are duckable. You're not calling that out. Like, stuff like that, you're being too nice. I missed so many punishes. You didn't call that out. You're not talking about how linear I'm playing, how easy he's sidestepping me and stuff like that. Like, whereas someone like, I guess, 5 or hell, even Leap, they'll say stuff like, your meter usage is Barth-worthy, or you need to stop trying to space with a character that has a shit backdash because Mirror's backdash suck and keep trying to do spacing with everybody. You can't do that because their backdash suck. Shit like that. You need to spin your heat properly to do this, be more impressive, layer your offense, stuff like that. Then it's like, okay, I can get behind that because I'm actually calling it out and they're being very strict about those things. So I know exactly what I need to work on and improving those areas, right? So I guess that's number one. That leads us to point number one, basically. Try to get somebody, at least it's helped me, try to get someone who's more experienced, but can also go into, like, watch over your, this is number one. So I guess these are entwined. Not only get a coach who can actually be effectively teaching you, don't try not to get a coach who's going to baby you and point out what you're doing good, because you already know what you're doing good. Like, you're aware that you're hitting combos. If your combos, you're pressuring your issue, don't focus on that. You don't want somebody to say, hey, you did this really good, this and that, and this and that, and that's all they focus on, and your mistakes are just kind of like brushed off. Now, you got to get somebody who's going to call what you do good, but they mainly need to focus on your mistakes. God, the mistakes are what's caused you to lose, not what you're doing good. You already know what you're doing good. I don't need to be told what I'm doing good. Tell where I'm fucking up. So definitely get more experienced players, basically. And be willing to listen to them. What they say might come off as harsh because they see potential. Same way I teach people in the Fatal Fury. It sounds harsh, but I see potential, so I'm gonna keep hammering that home so that you can reach the level I know you can get to. So definitely get somebody to teach you, help you out. Someone who's more superior than you will be the most beneficial. And someone who's going to be hard on you is going to be probably the best. Just don't try to take stuff personal. I love to never work. I understand people don't get along with that, but for me, that's what I get with. Or if that doesn't work for you, just find a teacher that fits you. So that's one thing. And for the most part, I'm kind of self-taught. But when it comes to the nuances of Tekken, like the movement and other stuff like that, obviously that's when I get help. But I do seek help when I'm really stumped so I can lab my own. And when they teach you, and when you got someone who's trying to teach you stuff, please actually work on that shit. Don't get told where you're fucking up and then don't work on it and then come back making the same mistake. That's something I learned in Fatal Fury from Nash. If you get taught something, do not return playing the same way. You need to show that you at least made some improvements, because what that shows your teacher is that you actually learned, you actually try to improve, you actually make an improvement. Don't be getting told stop doing spacing traps with a character with a shit backdash and then come back and continue to do the same thing. Don't be told your meter usage is terrible, you're just popping heat and immediately doing heat gauge and burning your heat bar, and then go back the second day and then do the same thing. You need to show that you're making improvements, because it's beneficial to you and it shows that you're not wasting your teacher's time. That's one thing. The next thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and this is funny to me, like this is the first time I think I got laughed at, and I was so surprised when I said I did this to teach, to learn on my own. Use your replays, people. You see these right here? It's actually surprised me how many people don't use this shit right here. I told, whenever people talk to me about getting in Tekken, how I'm improving so quick, I said, most of my training, I'm just spending in the lab, practicing stuff, learning frame data. And after every set I had with Tekken structure, some of them sparring. These are ranked matches right here. These are all my ranked matches. Right here, as you can see. And I'll tell them after every set I have with somebody or on ranked, if I'm fighting something that I do not understand how to beat or what I'm dealing with, my ass is, after the set is over, I'm going straight to the replays. I'm watching my replays and I'm going straight to replay takeover. And I'm gonna lab the instances that I keep losing to some bullshit so that next time I fight it, I know how to deal with it. I said that, and I mean, I was talking to, this was Tracy that said it, but I think Tracy was joking and take it serious. But he was the first one that I was like surprised that said it. And after Tracy, some other people even started saying, I was like, I really don't do this, huh? He was like, I told him, like, yeah, I go to replays a lot. I'll spend hours watching replays. I'll use replay takeover and just lab where I'm losing. Like, when I'm doing good, I won't lab, but if it's something I'm getting knowledge checked on, I'm gonna spend forever just labbing that shit. And like, people actually go to replays. I was like, y'all don't? Like, y'all don't do it? And I'm sitting here like, that's crazy. Do y'all know how much the Fatal Fury people are begging for replay takeover? And like, I feel like a lot of Tekken people actually don't use this shit. Not only do they not watch the replay, but they don't use the takeover feature to lab where they're fucking up. I'm like, this is so strong. This is one of the reasons I got good so fast. This is the reason I was able to get Tekken Supreme when I was pushing the Tekken God. Like from Tekken God, because replay takeover. Once I hit Tekken God, this is when the knowledge checking shit seriously kicked up. I was finding good players and players who were just running a very strong flow chart or like 2 tech throws and panic buttons they didn't know how to deal with. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to start using that shit. Once I started using replay takeover, I started fighting more of those characters. I started getting better. I started winning more, holding win streak. Then I started beating God Destructions. And as you can see, my rank up match is against a God Destruction, Brian, who's also a streamer, by the way, who goes by his handle, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitch, TikTok. So definitely check out Lee Law. I believe he is a God 3 lead player. So he's really strong, and his Bride is also really good, although it's not his main. And it was a set that I nearly lost. And this set right here with this Armor King, although it's Tekken King, he kept hitting with the throw that I could not break. I was pressing 1 and 1-2. Apparently the throw it was hitting me with was a 2 break. Didn't know that. Went to replay, immediately even though I wanted to set, labbed it, and just practiced Tekken that throw. Same thing with a King player here. Kept getting put in a stupid Ogi situation where I kept waking up into his very slow snake edge with a skill is shove me. I need to be blocking that. But I labbed it, figured out how I could better. I wanted to know how punishable it was if I blocked it, so I sat there, labbed it, turned out it's a negative 12 punish. Now she didn't have the best while riding 12 punish, negative 12 frame punish, but it's something that I know now. Right? I just spent forever labbing that stuff. Also, I figured out how to get up better in a situation and even get a low pair in a situation. So stuff like that can seriously help you guys. I'm like, this is probably the hugest piece of advice, like tip I can give you guys. Please use these damn replays, man. They're so underrated. Go to your replays. There's an option, turn on the frame data, turn it on. Turn on the tips, turn on the throw break tips, turn on every single thing. You need it. They don't have the frame data turned on by default, turn that shit on. Because you need to, when you're getting hit by something or you block something, you need to see exactly how negative a move is. You have to. That you can do your optimal punishes. And then you can see how negative the move is. Like if something you're blocking is negative 13, but you didn't know that during the match, go to replay takeover, practice punish at negative 13 move, which are negative 13, punish. Stuff like that is going to help you become a stronger Tekken player, because most of the time, even in God Destruction, man, I'm telling you guys, people that play these characters, they're just flowcharting a lot of the time. They're just flowcharting. They might move fancy or wave dash, but in the day, they're flowcharting. When you show that you can punish a lot of their bullshit, a lot of people break. They just crack under pressure and they die. A lot of them do. A lot of them can try to adapt, but once you break their flow and show you can punish something, they die. Same thing for me. I can speak from experience, because this shit happened to me. When people know the Miari matchup, they start ducking the highs and stuff, ducking the heat engager, start sidestepping her left, but I'm stuck. It feels very painful. But at the same time, when you do that to your opponent, you'll find you can just steamroll them. So please use this. This is extremely underrated. I don't know a lot of people don't use it. Like I tell people this in Discord all the time, like, so when you're losing on rank, you're struggling, are you actually going to your replays and watch your replays, watch the frame data, using replay takeover instances where you're losing? A lot of times it's a no. And a lot of times it's that people do that. Question mark. I'm like, oh boy. There goes a lot of people's issues right here. Yeah, I need to use these replays. And when you use the replays, your only goal, at least what I do, save me time. I'm going to lab only where I am losing. Only where I am struggling, only something that keeps getting me, that is what I'm gonna lab. I'm gonna lab it. Wherever I'm fucking up or whatever's getting me killed, that's what I'm labbing. The third piece of advice I can give is if you fight somebody who's better than you, or combine somebody who's higher ranked than you, this is what I did. This was like the moment I got into the game. Day one and week 2 and so on. I literally got into the game as a beginner. I was just started off fighting a red rank, king player. Then I started fighting blue ranks, Fusions. Then I went on rank, then I actually ended up getting a 26 win streak, and people called me Smurf all the way up to blue rank because of how I started off labbing, fighting people who were better than me, more superior than me, had more knowledge just off the rip. But it gave me a very, 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 very big boost into getting into this game as fast as I did. On top of having prior knowledge on how to kind of lab my own and study frame data. Because a lot of people, another thing, a lot of people don't know about frame data, which is something else we got to get into. Even the higher rank people don't know frame data that well. Like, you'll be surprised. So, fighting, if you can get somebody who's stronger, or superior to you, or better than you, and have them to train with constantly, yeah, use it. Use them. Trust me, you gotta get washed where you can get clean. Get your ass kicked. And continue to get your ass kicked until you can suddenly fight that person to make improvements. Even if you don't win, the goal is that you are showing improvement, that you're getting closer and closer to beating them until you can eventually beat them. Which actually happened to me. One of the homies, his name is Bailey, started off being a Fusion rank. I was a beginner rank. Got my ass whooped. Fucking 10 streaked me. Towards the end of that set, this is week 2. When this set happened, I started winning more, and eventually I was actually able to overcome him towards the last set. Even though he won most of the sets, I started winning more at the end and actually able to start winning streaking. Same thing with the other guy, with the Tekken, I think, king at the time. Sparred him too, as he was even better. Started getting games off him too. All right, come back a month later, and now he can't beat me. I don't even a shot. Like, I run sets with him all the time. Go to replay, study where I'm losing, lab the matchups, improve my own gameplay, and come back, and I was able to beat him. Because I got that experience early with the blue rank. You know, finding a gold rank super early on in my lifetime, in my early career playing Tekken. And then as I started hitting Fuji ranks, I started fighting God of Destruction in the breakout server. You know, Garo's the God of Destruction. Tap is another one, it's really good. God of Destruction, even better than Garo. I just got my ass kicked a shit ton. And it got even better, improving more with the character, studying replays even deeper. And obviously at that point I'm getting taught where I'm messing up by those better players. I had to work in those areas, and every time I'm getting closer and closer to winning. And then we hit, you know, Tekken Emperor, then Tekken God. So it works. But in order for it to be effective, like I said, you got to be not only fighting these players, but again, hitting those replays and studying where you're losing, studying where they're beating you at, studying your weaknesses, and taking advice and actually applying the stuff. A lot of people, and this kind of frustrates me as a teacher when I try to teach other people how to play this game, at least to the knowledge I have. A lot of people you tell shit to, they will not go and work on that shit. Come back to the same mistake, and I'm like, did you actually take to heart what I told you? A lot of them say no. Or they tell me they don't have time, and I'm like, but then why are you mad then? If you're still losing the same way, you haven't tried to fix it. Right? So, yeah, tip 3, find someone better than you. Fight them all the time, take their advice. Get your ass beat. Trust me, Tekken, this is, I tell everybody all the time, this is the hardest fighting game for me learning life ever. I don't think this game was hard for me to get into, but learning this shit was so taxing. But now I'm starting to get to the point where I'm actually starting to understand knowledge of the game. I'm getting better. Simply because of getting advice, and simply because I'm cutting my learning time in half on matches and stuff just by getting the replays. And having better players teach you and stuff is really helpful. The next little tip I want to get into is, like, even on ranked, if you're losing, don't focus too much on the points in rank. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Obviously focus on the points in rank. When I play a rank, I'm trying to win. I want to level up. A lot of times I'll take points where I pause from doing rank and just prepare on my own time, labbing and doing sets before I go into rank, so I'm comfortable to take it on. But even when I am playing rank, I tell these people this all the time. I do want to rank up, but I don't look at rank solely as trying to rank up. I mean, that's the primary goal. My main reason for doing rank is literally to collect data. No, so I mean my data just goes back to the replays. I'm playing rank simply to get exposed to a bunch of different play styles and see what most people do on a certain character. Understand what the flowcharts are, and then have that shit cataloged in my replay. They just sit there for hours on end, just going over the replays and labbing the shit out. I play rank simply to collect data so that I can study said data, understand how to beat this shit, and then I hop on next time and go out of the way street and get the rank I'm supposed to get to. I had to do it with Tekken God. Like I said, Tekken God was really fucking difficult. That was the first time I actually really started to struggle. The matchups were insane, the players were better, and the knowledge checking was huge. But I kept playing, and I just kept going to replays bit by bit, and eventually I found my footing and I kicked ass and everything constantly. So yeah, treat rank, don't only focus on the rank. Use it as a learning opportunity. I'll tell you this right now, a lot of the pro players, they use rank as a playground. They use it to test out stuff for a major tournament anyway. I would prefer that people, even though their sole purpose is to rank up, they start looking at rank more as a playground as well. Experiment with shit. Rank is on the line, yeah, but experiment, trust me, it's gonna, if you use every fight, win or lose, it's a learning opportunity, you're gonna get better and you're gonna rank up. You're gonna get points, you're gonna win streaks, and you'll hit ranks you never thought possible. And with that also goes not one and doneing. I don't know, I think Tekken might be the most heavy when it comes to one and doneing. You know, some of the people I'm trying to teach the game, they tend to one and done when they fight King, and I'm like, I really wish you didn't do that because you rob yourself of knowledge. What you do when you one and done, if you rob yourself of not only the ability to learn more or gain more knowledge from the set, but you also rob yourself of enhancing your skill or your ability to adapt to situations. They give you a set so that if you get crushed in the first game, you can hopefully adapt the second game and then bring it to probably a final game and continue to adapt from there. That is why, unless your Wi-Fi is absolutely dog shit, I will always say rematch. I fucking hate King when I'm going to rematch the motherfucker because I'm trying to learn the matchup and show that I can adapt to what they're doing, which has worked most of the time. Same thing with Armor King. I'm going to show that I can adapt. And for me, if I win the first game, my opponent adapts and I'm struggling more, and either I barely win or I lose, then game 3, I can adapt to their adaptation. And you just get more opportunity to learn and improve from there. So I know a lot of people on rank are going to do it anyway because rank mindset, I got to get my points. But what I always tell everybody, every one of my friends is like, if you don't, unless the connection's terrible, I really wish you would not want it done and focus on your rank too much, because then you rob yourself of growth, rob yourself of adaptation, you're never going to learn. And then guess what? You may hit the next rank. You'll probably do it because people that I think shouldn't be the ranks they're at are still in those ranks. But guess what? You're going to fight that character again. You're going to fight King again. You're going to fight Lee Chaolan again. You're going to fight Brian Fury again. And guess what? They're going to be even better with the character because you're in a higher rank now. So you're going to do even more bullshit and more powerful to the character. And you're going to keep one and doneing. And then you're going to keep losing points. You're going to keep ranking down. And you're going to be hard stuck because you didn't take time to rematch the opponent and lab when it was early. Now you don't know what the fuck you're fighting. You're trying to run away, and you're just gonna run out of points. So, yeah, that's all in that tip there. Treat rank as a learning opportunity. Use rank to collect data more so than farming your rank points. And try not to one and done unless your connection is dog shit. Because even if I'm not playing with someone who has like 100 fucking ping, I'm not doing it. If I can't hit my combos, I'm not playing. I'm sorry. That's the only time I want to done somebody. You can teabag me. I really don't give a shit. Like, online BM, that doesn't really faze me that much. Trust me. Like, I'm a rager anyway. Anybody watching my stream knows that I get very furious as it is. That shit does not faze me, bro. At the end of the day, if you piss me off, it's just more content for the viewers to laugh at and subscribe to. So I don't even care about that at all. I'm just here for the data, bro. So my next piece of advice, and this might be the weirdest one, the one that I think I get the most side eyes for, is use your ghost battles, man. Ghost battles are underrated as fuck. Tell you right now, the super ghost battles, they are underrated as shit. Now, why do I say that specifically? I'm gonna just say this right now. The other ghost battles, like just fighting the random AI that people have or friends with, those aren't as helpful as you would think. They kind of do a lot of some of the habits that your friends or players might do, but they don't actually play like them. Where I think Ghost Battle really shines is when it comes to fighting your own ghost. Because your own ghost is actually able to adapt to what you do and apply a lot of the habits you apply to the ghost. And that forces you to level up a lot. It's one of the reasons I actually get pretty decent at fighting the Miyari matchup and the Miyari mirror, because I fight my own ghost a lot. So I kind of get, it's kind of becoming a lot, really, it's becoming second nature for me to just sidestep left a lot of her stuff, duck a lot of her strings, you know, check around a lot of stuff that's fake. And it helps me improve on my cancels, stuff like that, get better on heat, get more optimal with my combos as well, because I'm not fighting a real opponent. I'm actually able to experiment with my cancels and the new combo or tech that I might have learned against an opponent that can somewhat adapt to what I do without the stress of losing my rank points and stuff like that. So I can actually perfect something in a simulated battle setting that's good enough to where I have to adapt to and I can't be too slack. So that's just like a, I guess, a little small tip there. I find it very effective. I did it all the way to Tekken God Supreme. I do think it's overrated. I don't think you yield too much results fighting other people's ghosts though, because like I said, those ghosts don't adapt and they play very hollow compared to what an actual player does. But fighting your own ghost will not only help you get more experience against the character you fight, so you can hopefully win the mirrors that you're putting yourself into, but it allows you to apply the knowledge you learned to your ghost so that the ghost can learn it and the ghost can hit you with the stuff that you've been doing, and you can find a counterplay to what you're doing. Especially if you're someone who flowcharts with your character, well then, if the ghost is using the same flowchart against you, you can figure out how to beat the flowchart. Then the people online who also do that same flowchart, you'll know how to deal with it. So that's another advice I give. I think Super Ghost Battle is extremely underrated. Extremely underrated. Just trust me, fight your ghost and see how much better you can get. As you improve and beat the ghost ass, it will get better. Even every time I level up and improve from like how I was a week ago or so forth, I'll fight the ghost lady with the ghost and catch her to my current level, and then I can keep improving from there. And that keeps me sharp. It helps me stay sharp. It helps me hit more cancels, stuff like that. And the final piece of advice that I can offer, in my opinion, is to, this goes back to replays, watch the players that are better than you. Go to replays, watch the best people on replays, play their character. So if you're looking for, I guess, I play Miare, so I'm gonna look for people who are higher ranked than me playing the character, see what they do. Let's say I struggle against Steve, I'm gonna watch somebody fight Steve and see how they fight Steve. I might watch a Miare versus Steve at a higher rank and see how they fight or how they deal with Steve's bullshit. If I struggle with Lily or Lydia, I'll watch somebody fight them and see how they deal with their stuff. Just take some time to go to rank, although these are very low ranks. Take some time, go through the rank replays, watch people use your character against the character you might struggle with. In the higher ranks, see what they do, copy their tech, copy their movement, look at their counterplay. They might show you something that you can do in the matchup you might not have even known in the first place. Like against Steve, I had struggled against Steve for a very long time. Still kind of struggle against him. But now I know that Miari Tsubaki is extremely effective against Steve in the matchup. So now I use Tsubaki a lot more through a lot of stuff, and I'm actually able to beat Steve's a lot more consistently than I used to because I know now that her Tsubaki is really good. Just have to be careful of his guard break punch, but you know, she can Tsubaki out of a lot of his shit. That's one thing. And so forth. I learned from watching my replays against Slavey that Fog has a lot of, his lows are extremely unsafe. He's later as shit. He has a lot of highs that I wasn't ducking. So I do that now and I've been able to beat a lot of higher rank bots a little more consistently too. So please use these replays. Watch the better players play. It is extremely effective at improving. But all that being said, that's kind of all I really got. I just really wanted to get that out of the way because I told everybody Tekken God Supreme was like the hardest rank for me to get. This was definitely the hardest push, but it got easier over time, but eventually I got it done. It didn't take me too long to get. It was just like, you know, this is where I realized that I hit a ceiling, so I had to break that ceiling. So that's one of the things that I did. I went to Ghost Battles. I studied my replays, used replay takeover against the shit I was losing to, and started beating the next people who played that character. I watched other people's replay and watch how they did and copy what they did. And I sparred with better players, took advice, took that advice, took note of stuff, practiced on what they told me to practice on. And I just took my time to lab on my own. On top of watching videos on YouTube. I do that a lot. Watch a lot of videos for tech and stuff, and I watch streamers. See them play all the time. So that's all I got for you guys today. I didn't try to make it too long, but it's really important. You guys are gonna get a double upload today, because I did record the Tekken God Supreme run, so that video will be up later today. But with that being said, I'm gonna catch you guys. CanTreGame is back. Miss B is dead. Your boy's Tekken arc is finally taking off. We gonna try to get those damn top 8s, man. We're gonna enter some major online. We're gonna get it done. Don't get my ass kicked a lot, but it's gonna happen. I gotta get a top gate in every fighting game that I play that I take pride in. So this gotta be the next game. All right, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Look out for the next video today. Peace out.